Hello, YouTube. Alright. I've been working hard for a couple hours. I actually have the AC on right now. I do have a 12-volt fan blowing at the power system here because that's what kept blowing a circuit. Kept blowing the fuse. I guess it's a fuse. But anyhow, it kept blowing because I think it was overheating. I got the AC on high blast right now. So it's bearable in here because it is like 103 or 113 outside, and it was like roasting in here without the AC. Anyhow, as you can see, I got more of the wood paneling up. It's not even wood, it's cardboard. But I think it's starting to look a little bit nicer. This section's a little bit messed up because where I forced the wood in, it's not flush, but I think this is going to be hidden behind a cabinet, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Because once again, we're not going for perfect. This RV is not called Mr. Perfect. This RV is called Good Enough. And there is a gap down here because it turns out the window's like a little bit lopsided or something. It's one side, you can see the other side fits a little bit better. I must have mismeasured or something, or they miscut it when I had them cut it at Home Depot. Maybe I cut it in diagonal, I don't know. But there's going to be a piece of wood, panel, whatever, that goes across here to hide that gap anyway. So I'm not too worried about that. I ended up making it a little bit flush up here because the cabinet is going to go across this way. And what I'm going to do is brace it. I know some of you saying he's making a structure inside the structure instead of making it part of the RV structure to give it strength. But the fact is, to do this correctly, you have to completely gut the RV and get it down to nothing. But then this project could take a year or more. And if I'm going to do that, I'd be better off building out a bus or something which has a better outside shell than this cheap plastic or whatever it is they used. The idea for this build here is to have a home to live in, not so much to travel around the country. Although you could possibly do it, I don't know. Depends on how good enough actually becomes. But my intent is not really to travel with this thing. It's just to have a temporary home. And this, this isn't even a permanent home for me. This is a temporary situation to get me out of the van and try to have a place for my wife to hang out with me and my children to come visit and possibly even spend the night, like on a weekend or something. So that is the purpose, and that's why some of you are saying that, it looks like I'm building for a home that doesn't move, but this is an RV. Well, my plan is not to move this RV too much. I'm hoping to find a spot where I can park and settle. It's looking more and more like I may have to pay rent somewhere. I just need to find a spot that's acceptable, that has, rent that's not too high. The problem I'm running into is a lot of the RV parks around here that are affordable. You have to be 55 or older. I'm not 55 or older. So, that rules me out. And that means I have to kind of go towards the more expensive parks or try to find free parking somewhere. But free parking, the problem with that is you could come back and then your RV's missing or vandalized. That is the issue. Whereas at a park, they have security that runs around, drives around, maintenance and stuff, and they kind of see things. So I'm still debating. It just depends on how much money I can make from YouTube as well as from my job. If they keep me at my job at the space processing center there, then I'm basically working to pay for a parking spot and child support. And then YouTube earnings becomes money that I can actually start to save and use to repair the RV and upgrade and stuff like that. The ultimate plan will be to possibly buy land somewhere and build a home, a real home. So that is long range, but I'm not even looking at that. I'm just looking at, hopefully, by the next day or two, this bedroom will be mostly done. It won't be painted yet. This wood paneling here that I'm putting in that looks like wood paneling, it's a pattern that they printed on the cardboard thing. It does look pretty nice, but I'm thinking I'm going to paint it just to make the room look, I don't really like the wood paneling too much. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what the missus says. But more than likely we're going to paint it and make it look like color coordinated with the existing fixtures and things like that. I already have a vision in my mind as to how everything will look. But basically we're going to try to build, I'm going to end up putting a support beam up here. I'm going to line it, the cabinets right up even with this. But I'm going to build a support beam up here, up to the roof, and then across. And then we're just going to have cabinets going along the top, and then a little type of thingy here somehow. I haven't fully figured it out yet because I don't really have a formal plan. Honestly, I'm just building as I go. I have a rough idea. But the main thing is to put this, I'm getting ready to cut and measure that panel over there, then do the little one over there, as well as the little one over here. And then the bedroom's mostly done, other than the cabinet and the dresser, which I got to build the dresser on that end before I try to put the upper cabinet across. So I'll be using this as kind of a template, sort of, just for measurement. Or I'll have to measure it over there on my own. But my plan is to make a nightstand on that end, and then also on this end, and run a beam up. I may just run a beam up from that end and then build the nightstand around the beam. So it won't look exactly the same, but hopefully it'll look good enough, close enough. People won't really notice, and if people do, I don't really care. The idea is to get this thing up and running and usable and functional and not look so disassembled and disorganized and just a mess like it is right now. But yeah, I'm pretty stoked that it looks like the pieces are fitting as I had hoped. You know, some of you might be wondering why I didn't use these panels for the floor, because they are cheaper. They're about like $10 a panel. But I don't know if it's cheaper. I think they'd actually be more expensive. But the second issue is this is actually just the cardboard, pressed cardboard. So I think it's even more sensitive to water than the laminate flooring system. And I was concerned about having to cut all these weird shapes. You can see, you know, there's cabinets and all sorts of crazy stuff that jut out. Even like here, this was kind of crazy, trying to cut around this. See how that had to be cut around and then over. Here, I originally had gone up because there was a piece sitting here like this. So now I'm missing some of that wainscot coating right there on the end. So I may add some more, or I may, more than likely, I'm going to get a beam and go up diagonal here and use that as a light fixture. Somehow I'm thinking of making torch lamps or something, just to give the place a little bit of a nicer look, you know. Just because we're trying to make this good enough, it doesn't mean we have to make it look junky, right? If we can make it look nice with just not too much additional expenses, it may be worth it to go ahead and add the little touches like the wainscoting here wainscoat that I put along here. It wasn't really much more. It was like just make sure that's blowing at the thing to keep it cool. But it was just $10 more than the cheapest. So, you know, it was like $21 for the wainscot, 4x8. By the way, if you were wondering what it looks like under the bed, this is what it looks like. The RV used to have carpeting, not wood flooring or anything like that. I'm going to leave the carpeting under there. That is the AC cover. I'm debating whether or not to put that on. It looks pretty crappy. I might paint it if I put it on, but more than likely, I'm contemplating leaving it off and just putting vents there. You can see this is falling down, but I'm thinking of just putting a vent up here, a little vent opening, and then it doesn't even look like a RV in here, you know, as far as the AC sticking down. I don't really see a point in having that. So I may just put a vent up here or make a little access panel or something. Still haven't decided yet, and I'm not sure what's up with this switch, but I think it's 12 volts more than likely, and lights could probably go there. I may end up putting lights there and putting a switch for the light, so this will be the main room light. So when you turn it on, the living room lights up, and that way I don't have to mess with the little side lights. It makes more sense to have a light right here in the center of the room that I can flip on and off. So that's the other thing, is modifying the light here for this bedroom, making a switch for it. But you can see I've already covered that up, so I'm gonna have to come in from the inside of the cabinet right here. So things are falling into place. It's just a matter of, can I do this? You know, this is basically a 30-day RV build out. Trying to put pieces together and make things work, and it's not full time because I have to work. So, you know, I just got off work and I'm working on this. I've been working on it for the last couple hours. So it's being done part-time over a 30-day period. Although we could possibly count the time I was working on it when I was parked at Max's place. But really, I only had like, about an hour each day or less, depending on how tired I was after coming home and working on the other stuff, the yard work. So basically, this RV is going to have to be pretty much finished off in 1 month. So I know a lot of you are saying, take everything apart, do all that. If you do that, I think even if you were working full-time, it would take more than a month. Sadly, I don't have that luxury. The other thing is I don't have the expenses that it would require to replace everything. And if I was going to do that, like I said, I would not really buy an old RV and fix it up. The intent of this RV was never to travel across the country in it. I think it's just too old and big. Self-parking is like impossible in this thing. So, I'm not looking to travel in this RV. I'm looking to try to find land or a place somewhere where I can park this, hopefully rent-free, because rent is killing me, because I'm not earning enough to cover rent and everything else. If I can live for free or, minimal, like $100, $200 a month, this suddenly becomes very affordable and a great home option. But if I have to pay upwards of $600 to $900 a month to park this RV somewhere and live in it, we're talking too expensive. For that price around here, I still couldn't get an apartment. Yeah, apartments here have gone sky high. So, good enough is coming along. I am gonna end this video now so I can try to finish this up because I'm losing my daylight. So the next time you see this, maybe I'll show it tonight. If I finish in time, I should have the walls completely up. And then I might even start building out the cabinet. The reason is I'm tired of having that thing just sitting here in the center, blocking everything else, because I do need to clear that room and get it habitable. And I need to start getting the roof together and closing this out so that, this doesn't keep falling down. Because that's what's happening is the vents are falling down. I need more tape. Everything's being held together with masking tape, with duct tape. Yeah. So this is giving me flashbacks of Yurt 2.0. I don't know how many of you remember that. The whole thing was held together with duct tape, zip ties. That's what I'm missing. I need zip ties. Well, anyhow, I'm going to sign out. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that you found this video interesting, if not entertaining or educational. But I'm actually pretty happy right now that things are kind of fitting, and it looks like good enough. It's going to be good enough. Until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.